nailed to the noggin, so killing them will only suppress their actions. It's never gonna stop them. Soldiers still fight, you always gotta try, cause there are men like him across the planet, still alive. And if a terrorist's bad, I'll fucking choke his ass up with an American flag, bitch. Skill for skill, man, don't even try me. I can make a crowd look like a goddamn tsunami. That's how I rock the crowd. I kick back and follow up with a punchline. That's how I knock you down. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Well, fuck that, I think the whole statement's straight pussy. Your folks fucking boring, homie, about to kick my feet up. Cause all these dumb rappers just remind me of Medea, cause they fake bitches. My accusations are lethal and ignite a whole fucking aggregation of people. I can walk out flames frozen without retarding. If you think this is cold, I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
I just like this song.
Yeah. We gon' roll up, we should pull out. I can't focus, man, I'm so damn. Who drove us? I don't know. All I know is when you smoke, then you better have some. I be up all night, man, your bitch showing love all night. She know that a nigga plugged alright. Yeah, they love me for the buzz, alright. Yeah, I got some bad habits, bad habits. I'ma smoke and drink and lean ass asthmatic. Bad habits, get your speed jumping schemes like a jackrabbit. Now I'm seeing triple, but I'm making double. That'll leave him puzzled. Oh girl, you single, but you came here couple. We don't keep it subtle. I know you never did this before. Girl, no, you ain't a hoe. If you do that some more, yeah. Oh, diamonds new. Tell the truth, I got the juice. Twins on me like glue. Bustin' one, I'm fucking two. You ain't gon' shoot. Shoulder lean like Uzi. Niggas think I broke the cool, cause I left without the roof. Ain't no time for sleep. Shit, with your bitch got time for me. Hit her real fast, she leave. Shit, she brought that gas and weed. Yeah, stay wet like gasoline. She know I'm a savage B. Hold her fences at the door, nigga. Go ahead, stash the weed. Cause I'm lit, nigga. This is what I'm finna do. Hello, rich nigga. Out here ballin' with the crew. Tell them niggas get their weight up. Cause when you ballin' like this, you gotta stay up. Cause I be up all night. Man, your bitch showing love all night. She know that a nigga plugged alright. Yeah, they love me for the buzz, alright. Yeah, I got some bad habits. Bad habits. I'ma smoke and drink and lean ass asthmatic. Bad habits. Hey, bad habits. Get your speed jumping schemes like a jackrabbit.
I was in the rave, counting up blue faces. She gon' get a face, then I gotta replace it. Stepping in the red bottoms, I don't do no aces. 2016, we was trapping like it's aces. You need some grace, I could bless her. I could eyeball it, don't measure. Shorty eyeballing my necklace, because my diamonds is wetter. He come run down and get wetter. We put the boy in a stretcher. I never fold under pressure. Just did a show for the extras. I got the main hoe in a bankroll, and I make them both do backflips. Me and you are not the same, no. Prices up now, nigga, text. How about the big body had to change clothes? Fuck the mind Marys with that ass shit. That nigga coming up.
All right. Welcome everybody again to Trash Panda Talks Wrestling with the one and only in person Lloyd Legacy Sharp.
Hi.
All right, this is the show where we give you the best and worst of each episode and the best and worst of the week in wrestling so that you don't have to watch it and we just filter out all the bullshit.
And to be honest, sometimes I have a hard time watching it. So if you don't watch it and listen to us at the end of the way, I feel your pain.
All right. Well, before we get started with Raw, since it's the first time I've seen you in like 3 months,
Yes.
I got you a little present.
Mamma mia.
It's a little inside ballpark with me and Lloyd. It's not Mooyah, but I got you a bacon cheeseburger. All right. And since that's just so good, let's start with the best of Raw.
All right. You know what? Since you had the pleasure of giving me I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, that's fair. Look, Raw is such a long show, and there was a lot to pick from. I loved Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews just because it's just baby faces being baby faces. But the Seth Rollins Aleister Black match had one of the best spots, probably even of the week. It may even make my best of the week. But Rollins went for a frog splash off the top rope and caught the Aleister Black knee, and it looked like Seth's head went into the crowd. It was awesome.
Fair. That was insane. I can agree with that. I gotta go to my notes because I have not done this in person before, so bear with me. Yes, here it is. My best of the night. And to be honest, I was kind of seconding the whole the bowling segment would have been, just because it's such silly sports entertainment nonsense, I actually enjoyed it. But for me, the best of the night had to go to the tag match.
Oh, okay.
Just because, for me, I felt like tag team wrestling is such a lost art in the mind of Vince McMahon. And to see it, although it started as you know, Kevin Owens, but when it turned into a tag match, and it was actually a good tag match, and Kevin Owens didn't turn at the end, and neither did Apollo Crews. Something about that just made it feel more organic than the usual, hey, I gotta have a tag team match, player, format of, past years gone by.
And I agree with that, because almost why it made my best, because it turned into a very natural good guys versus bad guys. And, like, that's what we're here for, right?
Yes, exactly.
Now, this is going to get a bit awkward, because my worst of the week is the Profits and the Viking Raiders bowling. And let me tell you, I enjoyed the segment, but I used to be a lane mechanic at a bowling alley, and one thing you do not do is walk on my goddamn lanes. Had I been there, I'd have TKO'd all of them with a bowling ball.
Oh, hell no. All right, fair enough. I just want to go bowling. I've not done that in so long, and it made me long for a time where going bowling was something that was permissible in the outdoor world. Maybe I'm biased. Yeah, the leader is here. Why do you think they let me in this place? My worst of the week.
Or the episode.
Right, the episode, sorry. Still getting used to it.
Hey, it's the new format.
The Rey Mysterio segment. I'm sorry. I love Rey Mysterio, but the dialogue was so forced. Rey's son actually looked pretty good. Like, he actually came off pretty good. For somebody who's not been on camera a lot, for somebody who's not exactly a performer, Rey's son was actually pretty believable. I'm sorry. Eddie's son that Rey adopted
Thank you.
is actually pretty believable. I'm your poppy, never forget. But Rey Mysterio, his dialogue was so just, it was such a, let me tell you something, Holmes. What you did to my family, and what you did to me, and what you did to my family, and what you did to me. And he pretty much just went down that kind of path for, like, it was not just those words, but it's the same thing for like 6 minutes. I'm like, just say you're going to retire, you're going to come back and kick his ass. But what you did to my family, will never forgive you. What you did to me and my family. Just, oh, gosh, shut the fuck up, Ray. I love you, but quiet. That's the worst of Raw for me.
Had it not been for somebody getting thrown down a bowling lane and just hitting my dog whistles, that would have been the same one for me. It was number 2, just because, like, don't tell me you're doing a retirement ceremony, and then like you don't even show up. You're doing it remote from on a. Fuck off.
Yeah.
This is stupid. It's not even
Retirement and wrestling? What are those?
you go out on your back.
Exactly. Right. Ric Flair retired in 1984. Let's not forget that.
All right. This is gonna be quick for AEW because everything was great every week, as far as I'm concerned. It was really, really hard for me to find something bad about AEW Dynamite this week. But the worst of the episode, as good as it is, Jake Roberts' acting in the Murder Hawk segment was so bad. Like, I did not believe for a second that he was afraid of Lance Archer being a madman. Plus, isn't that what he's been promoting Lance Archer as since he arrived? That continuity sucks, acting sucks, it all sucks.
I mean,
and then because you don't do AEW,
right?
The best is tough because I love Sammy Guevara doing terrible singing. Judas in my mind, and I love the build up between Cage and Moxley. But you cannot deny the awesomeness that was Cody Rhodes and Jungle Boy. They tore the roof off the house. Accurate. Cody still remains champion, but man, what a match. And then I'll let you take NXT.
I gotta say about AEW, if Jake the Snake Roberts' worst acting is the worst part of AEW, then it was a pretty good show.
It was hard to find something wrong. I love our producer.
So, NXT. Actually, the best and worst are kind of the same thing. Not so much because of how I perceived it, but because I just felt like if you're going to go with this move, it's polarizing to the point where a lot of people aren't going to dig it. Drake Maverick. The match and the story it told, best of that show for me. Me and my father pretty much were watching the entire show just to see what was going to happen there.
I'm honestly just glad he's not getting cucked anymore.
Yeah, or pissing his pants at Survivor Series. But
I'm saying that as a joke, but like they did that storyline.
They did. And R-Truth beat an NFL superstar for the title.
Woof.
But the worst part of that is also the aftermath where he was saying goodbye, he was going to go. I'm happy that he got re-signed by Triple H, but they played something that was a shoot into a work at a time where a lot of people are dealing with legitimate income and job security issues, and Drake Maverick's Instagram video from way back really made him seem like he was like legitimately devastated, and it just they wanted you to buy that as they wanted you to, not in the same way Owen Hart, but they wanted you to know that wasn't part of like, this guy's really devastated, he's done, it's over for him. It was good, but taking that when you want us to buy it as a legitimate thing instead of just, kind of just playing it into the way we know it to work, I felt like it might have been a little insensitive to people who are legitimately dealing with job security. If they just played the whole thing as an angle the whole time, I'd have been cool with it. But I know a lot of people that watched that said, good story, bad taste. And if the NXT diehards are saying that, some of them are saying that, then I got to call it the worst of the show. Even if in itself it wasn't a bad story. Just bad timing.
Fair enough.
Bad story. Bad timing seems to be a thing. Go ahead. Continue.
No, fair enough. I think you're absolutely right. I don't think we should use too much of real world tragedy in watching wrestling where we're literally trying to escape reality.
And if you're trying to play it as a shoot, don't make it up to a work. because we already know that it's a work. But if you're going to try to play it as something legitimate, where this guy he's one of us now. He's one of the people that are being affected by all this, and then he gets signed a big money contract at the end of the match. It's like, okay, great, but fuck you.
All right. Don't worry. I know you're having flashbacks. It's fine.
A little bit.
All right, that brings us to the end of the week show, SmackDown, last night.
I don't even need my nose for this.
Let me hear your worst, because I want to end on a good note.
You know how the finals of the Intercontinental Championship tournament was supposed to be this week, right? You know how that was supposed to.
Yeah.
So you know how that didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Like you know how they advertised. You know how the whole Sheamus thing was to set up Daniel Bryan earning his way into the finals that was supposed to happen this week, and then here we are, exactly, and then here we are. This week comes, and I'm waiting for the finals that I was promised a week ago, because I was told by the advertisers that we were going to have finals this week, and I'm waiting for it, and then Gulak. I did not sign up for SmackDown to see Gulak. I signed up to see Bryan. Gulak's fine. Not what I was promised. Worst down. No.
That's fair.
Sanctimonious sons of bitches.
It was SmackDown this week was just overall pretty bad. At least like the first half of the show. It took me a while to find something good. And it took me a long time to pick the worst. I hated the Hardy Sheamus setup. I still do, but I claimed that last week as the worst. So this week I'm claiming the worst. Dropping slime on Caleb Braxton, like, is this wrestling or is this fucking Nickelodeon? What are we doing?
Oh boy.
I'm not backing down from this. This is not a fucking kid show. Oh, wait. It kind of is. But it's not Nickelodeon. I know it's good wrestling shenanigans, but it was bad wrestling shenanigans. I can't get on board with it. And I don't like the rivalry they're building there either.
You know, Vince loves his shit stuff. My best of SmackDown this week? The logo at the end of the show when it was fucking over. I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't a fan. It didn't make me happy. It didn't make me smile. It didn't make me laugh. It did not bring me any joy that I was looking for in a week that was not the joyous in the real world. And the best part of SmackDown was when it was over and I no longer had to have my expectations lowered to hell than they already got.
It's so good. I will say the best thing for me that happened on SmackDown, because you're right, was what happened right before the logo at the end. The women's tag team title change. You don't see title changes on regular TV events very often anymore. And anytime you see a title change on regular cable TV, it always gets a blessing from me.
You know what? I'm gonna have to. Here's why I don't think that that's the truth, because I normally agree with you.
The match was good.
The match was good, but why is Bayley, who's already a champion, getting a tag team championship with Sasha, which is only going to prolong and muddle the SmackDown Women's Championship picture when you could have just taken the belt off of Bayley before giving her a tag freaking strap?
I say I disagree there, because now you actually make me interested in seeing whether Alexa and Nikki will get it back if we're going to do 50-50 booking on that, or if we're going to add a third party in the Iconics. I love the Iconics. I just do. They're annoying in the perfect way.
No, the Iconics are great. But do you know what would have been better than seeing if they could get the titles back from a champion who's already a champion and a person who's supposed to be feuding with that person for that championship that they already have? Not taking the freaking tag titles in the first place.
I get you.
Look. It is the best thing that happened on SmackDown, but it's like being the nicest guy in prison. Who did you have to outrank to get that title? Fair.
I give you that. I give you that.
1A to the end of the fucking. Perry Mason was better than that. Go ahead.
All right.
Tangents.
All right. We'll
Fucking garbage.
we'll wrap all this up. Sum it all up. Best and worst of the week. Give me your worst. Let's end on positive notes.
The existence of SmackDown on television this week. Blue. That was the mood. That's how I felt. You know how I felt? I felt as blue as SmackDown is live. I had the absolute worst time watching wrestling since the last time that I watched wrestling beforehand, which was the day before when I watched it with my father, and we had Drake Maverick had the whole, and I'm like, why are you doing that? It's insensitive, and I thought it couldn't get any worse than that, and then SmackDown happened. It didn't have to happen. They could have canceled it and ran a rerun of something that happened in 1999. But instead, they did SmackDown as it was and thought it was such good shit. And it wasn't good shit. It was just shit that wasn't good, just. And to me, I think that was the worst thing that happened this week. Maybe even in real life, depending on your neighborhood.
It's hard. Every time we do this, it's hard for me to disagree with you, but I already have my notes.
Fair. I didn't even need my notes. SmackDown was just...
No, the worst of the week for me this week was sliming Caleb Braxton. I'm sorry. I don't need Nickelodeon cartoons in my fucking wrestling. And then Braun Strowman, just an awful sell job of that. Oh no, it was supposed to happen to me, not you.
Yeah, and you know where that happened?
On SmackDown.
Thanks for proving my point, Vaiden. I really appreciate you backing me on this. Solidarity and whatnot.
Best of the week.
Not SmackDown.
We've covered that.
Best of the week, to me, was not that, but it was on NXT. And I would have to say, I want to make sure I get it right because I did have it written down. Santana versus, actually, you know what? Now that I see it, I'm going to change my mind midway. Nice versus Swerve.
Okay.
Because the women's match that happened later on was good. But I think about matches that kick off a show and get you ready to see the rest of the show. Nice versus Swerve did that for me.
I like the. Okay.
It was going to be the women's match that took place later on.
I like that the best of the week wasn't the best of the episode for you. That's because I'm doing the same thing.
Right.
Best of the week for me, as dumb as it was,
It better not have been on SmackDown.
No, it wasn't. It's AEW because
Okay, good. Because if it was on SmackDown,
I'm the AEW fanboy. It's just always the best of the week's always going to be from AEW for me.
That's fair.
Sammy Guevara doing the terrible rendition of Judas in Disguise, Judas in My Mind, forgetting the lyrics halfway through it and still selling it like it was Friday night karaoke. That is the kind of shenanigans I want in wrestling.
Yes.
It sells the entire persona of the Inner Circle. Fantastic.
I dig it.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this up. Lloyd, you don't have history this week.
I don't have history this week. I had history, but then I watched SmackDown, and I knew that I was going to go on a tangent on SmackDown, and I was going to take up enough time as it was, so I decided to just go on the SmackDown tangent and not do history because SmackDown.
Well, lucky for you, the teacher did his homework.
Fucking SmackDown.
It's going to be all right, man.
It's not going to be okay.
It's going to be all right.
SmackDown existed. It can't make it not exist, Vaiden. It can't do that.
Look, today in wrestling history was actually something cool that I think you'll actually appreciate a little bit. Maybe it'll bring you out of this slump. Literally today, not this week, literally today in wrestling history, Diesel debuted in the WWF alongside Shawn Michaels as he won the IC championship for, I think, the third time. Beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Beautiful moment. And,
Yeah.
I mean, the start of Kevin Nash and the whole NWO and then eventually DX all began 1993 today in history.
Yeah. Better times than SmackDown last night. I agree.
You're going to have to get over it, man.
I don't have to do anything. This is America. Never mind.
Whoa.
America's not a free country at the moment. But still, thank you for bringing that, because SmackDown that is better. That helps. I'll go home and I'll try to forget SmackDown. I'll try.
Just Diesel.
Right. Diesel.
Now that does bring us to the end of this week's episode, and it was a good one. I'm just happy to see you in person.
Yes!
It's so good.
I know. Thank you for having me.
I'm just going to let this play out. We'll see y'all next week. And as always,